Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is what I hope to be the first of a series of videos showing you how to create templates or PDF templates for reMarkable devices. So that's 1, 2 or the Paper Pro. Now there's a few videos online showing you how you can create these for on iPads and various devices with hyperlinks, but there's not actually many specifically for the reMarkable, and there are some things you need to be aware of when making this for the various devices, even the differences between what you do for the reMarkable 2 and what you do for the Paper Pro. Now I own a shop where I sell PDFs for the reMarkable, and I'll leave a link for that in the description, and that works for some people because they don't have the time to learn and then create them. But others, they actually want to learn and they're interested in doing so. So hopefully I can help with that today. So without further ado, I'm going to be sharing my screen and doing an in-depth tutorial step by step on how to do this. I'll be using free software on Canva. I do have a paid subscription, but you can sign up for a 30-day free trial. And actually a top tip, if you have multiple email addresses, you can have multiple free trials. So you got plenty of time to create the templates that you need for your daily effectiveness. So let's jump into it.
Alright, so now my screen should be sharing and you should be able to see my Canva here. So as I mentioned in my intro, today I'll be showing you how to create a simple PDF template for the reMarkable on Canva. Now it can be done on other softwares, and I do use some other softwares, but today we're going to keep it simple, focus on some of the key techniques you can use to create these templates, some key bits of information. And then in future, we can cover off other softwares. If there's anything else you'd like to see, please leave it in the comments. I'm really open to feedback here as what people want to see, the types of templates they want to see, the types of softwares they'd like me to use. And we can just build it out from here. And hopefully people will be able to create the templates that they want to use on their reMarkable. So Canva landing screen, I'm going to talk a bit as if people, I'm going to mainly cater to the people who maybe haven't used Canva before, so I'm going to keep it quite basic. So if you have used Canva a bit, there might be a few bits that you can fast forward through that aren't as relevant to you. But this is the landing page. As I mentioned earlier, I've got an account here, but you don't need an account, just sign up for a free trial. If anyone needs any support doing that, let me know. I could perhaps do a quick video on that, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Once you're on this main screen, you have a number of options, but we're not actually going to pick any of the pre-built options that they provide. Like if you're doing a poster or presentations, they can sort of give you presets, but we want to be very specific because we're building something for the reMarkable. So we're going to click on Create a Design in the top left corner. And I've already filled it out here, but these are the sizes that you want to be specific. So this is specific to, this is pulled off the reMarkable website. So for the reMarkable Paper Pro in PX units, there's various like millimeters, inches, centimeters. But if we're doing PX, I believe it's pixels, I might be wrong there. But for the reMarkable Paper Pro, feel free to write this down. You want your width to be 1620 and you want your height to be 2160. This is going to give you the best resolution. It still will work on if you don't use those exact numbers, like the PDFs do scale up and down, but you want to try stick to these measurements if possible. And if you're creating a reMarkable 2 template, it's 1872 height and 1404 width. I might add that in the notes section of the video just so people have that to hand, but use those measurements depending on which device you're creating the template for. Once you've done that, just hit Create New Design. I'm going to do this one for the Paper Pro, but as I say, it will scale down to the size of the reMarkable 2, but we're going to add some colour on this one, so it will be usable on the reMarkable 2, but we're going to add a bit of a splash of colour and a bit of a spoiler alert. Sorry, I'll just remove my screen recording application because it does slow things down a bit. So what I'm going to make today is from a suggestion given by somebody on my Facebook group, just in case you aren't a member or it's something you're interested in. I have a Facebook group called reMarkable Tips, Templates and Accessories. I'll leave a link for it in the description. It's just a friendly community essentially where people who own reMarkables or are interested in them share advice and tips. and people share that make their own templates, various freebies and things like that. So it's a good place to be if you're interested. And somebody in that group suggested it'd be nice with us coming up to the holiday season to create a bit of a Christmas gift tracker or something where you can log gifts that you buy for somebody, maybe track how much that you're spending, a bit of a budget and aspect to it. And some of you might think, well, actually, I wouldn't use that, but that's not the point here. You might not want to create anything like this, but the fundamentals that I show you while making this will help you make lots of other templates. So this is just going to be an example, but you can extract some of the things I use here when you come to make your own. So I'll do this one to start with, and in future we can do maybe other aspects or other templates, such as calendars are obviously quite a popular one, maybe things that you might use at work for meetings, etc. Different kind of logs, and we can build up to those, but for now we're just going to do a simple Christmas gift buying guide. And I've got a bit of a design on my Paper Pro. So I've drafted it, so I've got a bit of a design I'm working to, and I'm just going to show you how we can go about building that. So we've got our correct page specs here. If you're new to Canva, what you'll spend most of your time in is this left section here, where you can draw lots of aspects and elements and text and add it onto your page. So I spend most of my time using elements and text. There are other things you can use. You can draw, for example. You can use preset designs if you're feeling a bit lazy and you just want to copy what someone else has got. In fact, a lot of this can probably work for just basic designs. But if you want something a bit more customized to your needs, which I suspect most people would want, then we're going to use elements a lot. So for my first page, I'm going to create a bit of a landing page. And this is going to this square is going to be sort of the background of my title. Excuse me, I'll make this black. So when you've got elements or different shapes, once you click on it, this toolbar comes up at the top, and we can do various things with it. You can round corners, you can add borders, you can fade things to reduce the color density. I just want this as a normal black background, so I'm going to do it like that. And then we can also type in this rectangle that I've created, and we're going to call it, I'm going to call it Christmas gift buying list. Obviously some people won't call it Christmas or have different names for the holiday season, but that's what I call it, so I'm going to go with this. On the reMarkable, it looks quite nice having a black background with white text. Just a quick tip right off the bat, the shades of grey and black do appear differently on both the reMarkable 2 and the Paper Pro. The Paper Pro doesn't display a true black colour. It's actually a very dark blue. It's hard to tell unless you put it side by side to a black. And your greys appear differently on both devices. They're much more faded on the Paper Pro. So something to be aware of depending on which tablet you're creating for. So as this is a Christmas buying list, we're gonna jazz it up with a bit of Christmas holly. And this video is going to be quite detailed, in depth, step by step. You can fast forward to relevant sections if you want, but every sort of section I go through, I'm going to be giving you little tips. So you might want to sort of, if you have the time, just watch the whole thing. But if you're new to it, I think it'll be worth sort of slowing it down, especially if you're a beginner, because you can essentially just copy some of the tips that I do, and it'll make life a lot easier for you. Okay, so we're just going to create a bit of a design here going into the corners. And what I encourage people to do, especially if it's a template that they plan on using a lot, is I would encourage you to do maybe a decent portion of the template, then download it to your reMarkable, test it out, and then do some tweaks, because once you put it onto the reMarkable, you'll notice things that don't quite appear how you want, or things you want to change. Colors may be displaying not quite right on the Paper Pro, and various things, or maybe links not quite being how you want them to be. And we're going to go over hyperlinks, which is a big thing for reMarkable users. We're going to go over the basics of that, and you can use Canva for those hyperlinks. So we've got a bit of decoration here. Let's go Christmas. In fact, and a quick top tip, you can use, rather than copying designs completely, you can use them for a bit of quick inspiration. So if I did like Christmas party invite, I'm going to add a page. If you find one that you like, you can basically take the elements from it. Like, I quite like the holly here, or not the holly, the sort of Christmassy sprigs of a tree and the bows. So you can then take that and we can reverse it, and we can bring it down to the bottom, make it a bit smaller. So you can just do a bit of friendly, good old-fashioned stealing of other people's templates. It's templates that's there for you to use. To be honest, it's not stealing. Let's go back to elements, get some Christmas designs. Or actually, no, what would be better? Christmas border. Ah, now we're talking. All right, so we don't want it on that page. And put this on the side. Something a bit longer might be better, perhaps. Anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on this because the design is not the main thing here. We just wanted to give you a bit of a flavor of what you can do in quite quickly, really. It doesn't take long to pull these together. So you'll notice that when I'm moving around some of these elements, purple lines appear. So Canva's great because it's just really easy to maybe get images lined up or in the right position. So you'll see lines starting to appear now. So we want to get it level with that other one on this side. And you can even check it. If you go into position, you can see to the exact sort of pixel. So along the y-axis, it's 1432. Actually, I've rotated it, so you can't use it in this example, but you can use sort of the X and Y to get the exact location of certain things. So it's really good for that. So now we've got a bit of jazzy decoration. We're going to use a table to actually create our index page. This is what this is essentially going to be. What we want, so this is going to be where we add the names of people we're going to buy gifts for, and then we're going to have a log to say if we've sort of got all their gifts or how many are left to buy. So some people might have lots of friends and lots of family to buy things for, so I'll do quite a few rows. And just a quick mention, I will find a way of making whatever I create in these videos in this series just downloadable for free. I'll probably end up sharing it on my Facebook group, so do join if you'd like to just download this for free and add it to your reMarkable and make use of it for Christmas. Yeah, so everything I make, I'll just be posting it for people to download. And just in case you've not done it before, I recommend using the reMarkable app. You just drag and drop the PDF. It's super easy. I've got another video showing you how you can do it. So we're going to get a nice Christmassy colour. On the Paper Pro, you need to be careful with your greens. It's not got that good of a green range. So if you go too light, like if I went for this colour, it probably actually wouldn't show up. So I'm going to go with this green. So this is going to be done. So that's if you've sort of got all the presents, gifts left to buy. In fact, do I put buy? Because people might be making gifts, so you could put gifts left to get. It's a nice thing if you're able to make gifts. I think I do a bit of woodworking in my spare time, so I try and make my kids some toys out of wood at Christmas time, and I think it's cool, but they probably are like, what the heck is this? And then we're just going to go name, and then if you hold down, I think it's the shift key, we're going to go across. we can increase the text of all of these rather than doing it one at a time in a way. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That will do for now, I think. And so that's the index page. What we're going to do momentarily after we've done the other pages is we're going to link. So every time when on the reMarkable, if you click where the name is, so let's say Joe, for example, we're going to have it so if you touch there with your finger, it's going to take you to from the index to a dedicated page for that person where you can put the gifts you want to get them, maybe how much you've spent on it, if you've wrapped them, stuff like that. So that's how we're going to work this. Another top tip with cells on most of the softwares, you can't hyperlink the cell directly. So what you need to do is get an element such as a basic square, and then you sort of put it behind the table. It'll make more sense when I show you, but this is what we're actually going to attach the hyperlink to, not the table cell itself. So we're going to want to zoom in because our work is going to get a little bit more delicate now, or we're going to need to be a little bit more precise. So sometimes the mouse won't let you get right where you want, so I'm going to use position and I'm going to increase the height to 130. We want to get it, I like to get it so it's completely flush with the side of the cell. I mean, you don't have to be this specific, but when I'm creating them, I like to be a bit of a perfectionist, unfortunately. See how that perfectly fits, and then we'll go across. That looks good. And now what we're going to do is, we don't want it to be dark, we're going to change it into a white color, so this is going to fade into the background. And we're going to copy, and we're going to paste. So we're going to make our lives a lot easier by just copying, pasting it over. Hopefully it falls nicely within the cell box, so we don't have to adjust it. This one isn't. It can be a bit fiddly, and then, so in this case, we're just going to have to move it down by using the position menu. And we're going to copy and paste again until we get all 10. So I'm going to again hold down Shift, select all my rectangles. And then actually, I'm not going to do it just yet because I need to link them. So I'm going to keep them at the front, and I'm going to start on my next page. So rather than just create a new blank page, which is that icon, I'm going to duplicate this because I want to retain the Christmassy design. So I'm going to get rid of the table, get rid of these, but I'm going to keep my design here. I'm going to get rid of that, and then let me just pull up my little draft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a section for budget. I'm going to round the corners because it looks a bit nicer. Let's go with 30. We're going to make it white. Or do we want to go pale grey? Tricky. No, we'll go plain white. Oh, what have I done there? And then we'll give it a border. Fairly thick border. And this is going to be where we add I have 2 at the top. Then we're going to get some text involved. Add a text box. I'm going to put name. Even though we've already selected the name to get to this page, I'm going to add a name box because just in case you're on the page for a while and it doesn't have a name, you might sort of forget whose page you're on, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to add it in anyway. I think it'll be helpful. So we want to get that. I'll just pop it in the corner and do similar here, but we're going to do budget. Budget. And then we're going to want to line these up this one's going to be fully across the length, and this is going to be for jotting down our ideas. So gift idea. So before we actually buy the present, we can use this space to come up with some ideas. And lastly, I'm going to have a table. Instead of doing a completely new one, I'm going to steal this one, paste it in, and then we're going to add some more rows. So hopefully you're getting the picture now that this is going to be where we put the item, the price, so you can see how much you've spent, and why not, we will do if it's wrapped. There we go. I'm going to even make it a little bit smaller still, and then we are pretty much done with our designing. Now we're going to do the hyperlinking, and the rest of it's going to be super easy. Once you've got your base design, the rest doesn't take too long. So there we've got our name page. Let's see if there's anything else I've got here. Colors should look okay on the Paper Pro. Just another tip as well, obviously with the reMarkable, you have the toolbar on the left and the right hand side. So if you're doing text boxes, like it's okay if you're covering up design, but you wouldn't want to sort of drag this all the way to the end, because the toolbar would cover up some of your writing space. But it's not an issue here, as you can see. We've really we've got designs around the edge, so that's not going to be a problem here. So we want 10 of these. So I'm just going to press this icon to duplicate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. What we're going to do is, on the Mac, this keyboard is Command K. I'm sure there's one on Windows as well. But you just want to click on the element that you want to link, and you can link loads of elements. I could link this holly here and press Command K, and I can have it where on the reMarkable, if you touch that, then you go to a different page. You can sort of link loads of things on Canva, with the exception of a cell, of course. I actually just remembered we're going to need a home button, because if we're on one of our friends or family's page, we need to be able to navigate easily back to home. So let's use one where we can add a bit of color. This one's simple. We'll make this one red, a nice Christmassy red, and we will bring it up here. Add it near the top. And we will use this as our first example of hyperlinking. So this is always going to want to take us to page 1. You can search it or you can type it into page 1 and it's done. And the great thing about this is you can then just copy it over, and this element will copy over the image, but it'll also copy over the link. So hyperlinking, there's a lot of tips you can do to make it quicker. I started off doing it really manual and it took so long, but there's some tips and tricks which in future videos I will show you for bigger templates to save you a lot of time, because just doing everything one by one can literally take months. If you're doing, calendars with 500 pages in it and hundreds of links on each page, it's just not feasible. So you need to learn some of the tips and tricks which I will show you. Sorry, I realise I'm sitting up quite a bit, so I might for half of this video I might not have even been on the screen, but you don't need to see me. That is not the important thing here. So here we want to, again, we're going to link to page 2. So this is where we're going to touch on the person's name, and it's going to take us to that list. We're going to go on page 3. We're going to go on page 4. We're going to go on page 5. Whilst Canva is amazing for some things, there are some hyperlinking shortcuts which I don't believe you can use on Canva, and I use other software for. Again, I'm sort of giving a bit of a teaser now for future videos. But you can do simple things like this, but if you wanted to do other tips like duplicating sections with hyperlinks, I don't think you can do that on here. Okay, page 10, now page 11. Right, we're on the home stretch now. I'll just check that over. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So all of these rectangles, I'm going to send them to the back. Right click, you go on layers, you can bring things forward one layer, send things back one layer, bring things right to the front or send things right to the back. But here we're just going to click send to back and it should disappear. But unbeknownst to people using the template, there's actually an image behind there with the hyperlink. So that's going to take us to all of these pages, and then we have the home icon, which is going to be able to take us back. So we don't have to swipe manually through pages, and we can use hyperlinks to make our life so much easier. It's one of the big draws of using PDFs, because whilst the reMarkable standard templates definitely have a function, such as using typed text, templates are just so much quicker when you're navigating large documents, just so much better. For things like calendars, you just can't beat it. Okay, so I've probably made just a few little errors in there because I am rushing through this, but you get the idea, and it's a nice, simple little template there. So what I'm going to do now is click on share. I'm going to download it. I'm going to download it as a PDF. And I'm going to put it on reMarkable, my reMarkable, and I'm going to take the camera off this section, show you it on the actual device. We're going to test out the hyperlinks, see what it looks like. So let's download it. Okay, that's a good place to stop. So I'll see you on the other camera in a second.
Okay, so I've just dragged the PDF onto my reMarkable app, and for those who've used PDFs before, it then just appears and syncs onto your reMarkable. So I'm using this on the Paper Pro, but I might actually also pull it up on my reMarkable 2 as well, just to show you that it still works, but obviously we don't have the colour aspect here. But I'm actually really happy with how it's turned out. To say it was just something super simple. The colours look nice, they've come through okay on all of the aspects, not just some of them. Text looks fine. You can always check things by zooming in as well, just seeing the quality of it. So just let that refresh. It's actually not too bad. But it's just a simple gift buying guide. But if you did want high quality images, Canva is really good and does pull them through just fine there. So here we've got our example. I'm going to grab my pen and I'm going to go ahead and write, just put myself here, and you know, we really like Joe. He's one of our best friends, so we're going to get him 5 gifts. And then we still haven't done it yet, so we're going to go into Joe, press the hyperlink. It's going to take us to the page where we can put Joe here. Budget, ooh, you know what, we really like Joe, so we're going to put £100 here. We're going to add in a few gift ideas, then we're going to put in the item there, the price, and then if it's wrapped, you can just put a check mark there and just keep yourself organized this Christmas, especially if you're buying gifts for a lot of people. And it's simple as that. You can press this icon here and it's going to take me back. Sorry, I didn't press it properly. It's going to take me back to the home page, and you can just navigate that way. I'm going to press this icon. It's going to take me to this person, and it's actually turned out really nice. So I hope you found this helpful. I know the video is going to be quite long, but just step by step is how I learned from the beginning, and I know it's how, when you're starting out, it's the best way to do it. And within no time we'll have you making much more complicated PDFs, which we will do more videos on in future. As I mentioned, please do let me know if there's anything you'd like me to create and anything you'd like me to just show or demonstrate in future. Before I sign off, I'll quickly show you it on the reMarkable 2, just next to each other. There it is. A Christmas gift buying guide on the reMarkable Paper Pro and the reMarkable 2. like that. So I'm gonna just post it on my Facebook group, reMarkable Tips, Templates and Accessories, and you can download it there for free. So I hope you enjoyed this. As mentioned, I will leave the link to my Etsy shop in the description there, where you can buy various templates that I offer. Here's one that I've recently created as we're coming up to the end of the year. I know it's crazy, but we're we're a few months away from 2025. And this is my pride and joy, is the yearly daily organizer, the year 2025 daily organizer, where this, compared to the example here where we've got a few hyperlinks, this page has about between 450 to 500 hyperlinks. You can press anywhere, any day of the year, any quarter, any week. These tabs along the side all work. We can go anywhere we want, and there's hundreds of pages. So we're going to build up to this sort of thing. But if you were interested in checking this out, then I'll leave the link to it in the description. Have a great rest of your day, and I hopefully see you on the next one.